I think we can all agree that Nick Young was not the worst basketball player when in his prime. He was not that bad of a scorer and was far from an injury-prone player. But as time passed, Nick Young was starting to regress and would soon become a meme. Literally. Even though Young was regressing season by season, he was still a pretty good bench player. He would win the championship with the Golden State Warriors in 2018, and he played in 80 games that season. It's as if he was an Iron Man. But after 2019, Nick Young would fail to return on an NBA team as his game just wasn't catching any team's interest. So what did Nick Young plan on doing after basketball? One of the hardest combat sports in the world, boxing. The last time we saw a former NBA player box was Nate Robinson, and we all know how that ended up. Nick Young called out hip-hop star Blueface back in July 2022, saying he would knock him out in 15 seconds. Blueface was up for the challenge. The two agreed to step in the ring on September 10th, but just a few days ago, Blueface pulled out of the fight. So let me ask the question, how did Nick Young go from an NBA player to a boxer? Well, let's take a look. Let's start off at an important part of an athlete's career, which is college. Young attended USC. In total, Young averaged 15 points, an assist, 5 rebounds, and basically a steal per game. He would declare for the 2007 NBA draft and was selected by the Washington Wizards, who were an above-average team at the time. Nick Young wasn't really starting for the Wizards in his first 3 years on the team. In his first 3 seasons, he was averaging 19 minutes per game. But out of 231 games, he only started in 30 of them. Young was putting up some nice stats as in 2008 to 2009, he averaged 11 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist per game. In the 2010-11 season, Young was upgraded to that starting lineup. He was averaging around 32 minutes a game with the Wizards that season, and because of more playing time, he was capable of averaging 17 points, almost 3 rebounds, and an assist per game, which is not bad at all. Doing this at 25 years old was promising. Young was still being looked at as a starter until he got traded. On March 15, 2012, Nick Young was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. Out of the 22 games he played with them, he only started in 3 of them. The Clippers would make the playoffs that season, but knowing that it's the Los Angeles Clippers, they didn't make it too far. Young's contract would expire after that season, and he decided not to re-sign with the Clippers. Instead, he went to Philadelphia to play for the 76ers. Young joined them at the right time because this was right before Sixers fans had to trust the process. Although Young wasn't starting as much with the team, he was getting some minutes. In total, Young averaged 10 points, an assist, and 2 rebounds per game. He also shot 41% from the field and 35% from 3. After his 1-year contract with Philly was over, he knew it was time to find a place he can call home, somewhere that he knows he'll last for a bit of time. So where exactly did he go? Well, back to LA, but this time for the Lakers. In the 2013-14 season, Young averaged 18 points, an assist, 2 rebounds, and 43% shooting from the field. A fun fact about Young that season was that he had 7 4-point plays in one season, which is a record in franchise history for the Lakers, and it still is till this day. Since Young balled out, the Lakers knew they needed to see more of him. On July 21st, 2014, Young re-signed with the Lakers for 4 years, $21.5 million, meaning Young was going to make around $5 million a year. Now, remember when I told you guys that Young was playing like an Iron Man where he never got hurt? Well, that changed the very next season. Young would miss about 5 weeks of ball due to a surgery where they had to repair his thumb. While Young was out on the court, he wasn't playing too bad. Averaging 13 points a game while playing around 24 minutes per game isn't that bad. But there was one problem Young had with the Lakers: chemistry. Let me explain. In 2015, Nick Young was messing around with one of his teammates. The guy he was messing around with was by far one of the best, if not the best Laker in history, Kobe Bryant. Nick Young is the type of guy who likes to tease and mess around a bit with his teammates. In 2014, Nick Young would hit a game-winning 3 in overtime against the Spurs with about 7 seconds remaining on the clock. Young and his teammates were obviously happy about taking the lead. But Kobe was quite irritated by the fact they didn't give him the ball. After all, the Black Mamba has clutch in his middle name. The Lakers would go on to win that game, and in the post-game interviews, Young said this, quote, "Kobe needed a break. I said, take a break, little man. You look tired." Saying something like this about Kobe Bryant should literally be illegal. Kobe Bryant will not hold back when it comes to comments like this. He will make you pay so badly on the court, you'll wish you never said it in the first place. But like I said the first time, this is kind of how Nick Young rolled, teasing his teammates. There was another altercation he had with a future teammate that would definitely come back to haunt him, D'Angelo Russell. Basically what happened was, long story short, Young got caught in 4K cheating on his girlfriend, and Russell recorded him doing so, and it somehow got leaked on the internet. After that day, Nick Young never looked at Russell the same way, and till this day, he still despises him. Young would remain a Laker until 2017. His contract expired, and it didn't seem like he was going to re-sign. Instead, Young decided to pack his bags and head to Oakland to play for the Golden State Warriors, a team that he knew could help him get his first championship ring. And that's exactly what they did. The Warriors would defeat the Cavaliers in the 2018 NBA Finals, and Young was so happy about the win, he called himself SWAC champ. But that would be Young's only season as a Warrior. He would go unsigned in the offseason and didn't return in the league until December. The Denver Nuggets decided to pick him up, but just 20 days later, he was waived and wouldn't return on another team. 2018-19 would be the last season Young ever played in the NBA, but his basketball career wasn't done just yet. In 2021, Young signed with the enemies of the Big Three, which is a basketball league where instead of having 10 total players on the court, you only have 6. Young is still playing in this league till this day, but their next season won't start until June. So what has Nick Young been doing in the meantime? Well, he's decided he wants to throw on some gloves and get in the ring. In July 2022, Nick Young called out Blueface, a popular musician who's been in the industry for a few years. Young said he could knock him out in 15 seconds. Blueface was originally supposed to have an opponent on August 27th. He was supposed to fight professional gamer Face Temper, but Blueface pulled out of the fight. So Nick Young decided to offer him a contract so that both men could get in the ring. The fight was supposed to happen on September 10th, but Blueface pulled out again. The reason why was because he wasn't able to obtain his license for the Social Gloves event he was in. Young definitely had an advantage against Blueface, and the reason why is because Young currently stands at 6'7", while Blueface is 6'4". Having that height advantage in the ring is huge. Although Nick Young had that height advantage, Blueface had the advantage of being in better shape than Nick Young. Either way, we'll never know who would have won this fight. And at the time I am recording this video, it still hasn't been reported on who Nick Young's next opponent will be. We'll see how it all ends up, but I'm definitely interested to see what Nick Young could do in the ring.